Hello, Big Man Up Top listeners. We have jumped in the studio, Ed, because this weekend it's the final.
It's the big one.
The Euros final. Are you excited?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, absolutely delighted for the Lionesses, and just really excited to see us hopefully retain the European Championship, Joe.
Yeah, it feels significant. Playing Spain again after the World Cup final.
Yeah, I know. We were all hoping for Germany.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, did you watch the game, Joe?
I did. A great game again. I mean, the parallels between this Euros and the last Euros, the men's Euros last year, are just, there's so many difficult watches, tension, not actually playing that well, but finding a way. Yeah. But yeah, I thought, again, quite a frustrating game to watch, to be honest, from an England perspective. Yeah,
so again, as has been the case in this competition, England have come out of the traps very, very slowly. And just sort of looked a little bit like deer in the headlights, really. Found themselves going 1-0 down, and then Italy have basically done what all good underdog teams should do: score a goal and then immediately shut up shop.
Yeah, it's what you have to do, and you could see how much Italy wanted to win this. There's so much emotion, so much time wasting as well, which is getting quite frustrating. But I think what you see, and what you're seeing from this and the Sweden games, is like the experienced players kind of stepping up. Yeah. I think Lucy Bronze, you see her over the knockout games, you see she is someone who's kind of grabbed this team by the scruff of the neck and dragged them through it, coached them through it. And bear in mind they played 120 minutes the other night, and then to still play another 120 this week, it's just incredible.
Well, I think we're going to talk a lot about the positives of England and the Lionesses getting through. I feel like we do need to first of all, though, touch on the fact of substitutions, because it has been a recurring thing in this tournament that the Lionesses have looked laboured, I think, looked like they've been sort of out of ideas until substitutes have come on, particularly Adjumang, particularly Chloe Kelly. Yeah. And there is an argument to say, like, look, I understand why you might sort of say, why Wiegman might say, this is my starting 11 and this is who I trust to go out and do a job with these great weapons to bring on. But the thing is again, against Italy, the subs didn't come on until very, very late on. And I feel like I was shouting at the TV from about 55 minutes. I was going, come on, Serena, get them on now, you know. And how much of this is a masterstroke by Serena Wiegman, and how much is it just we've kind of got a bit lucky?
I think you have to call it lucky. I mean, this is quite an obvious statement. If Adjumang doesn't equalise, we're all saying bring them on earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't think you can put this purely down to genius, masterstroke. I think Russo looked shattered all the way throughout. I think she played all 120 minutes. She scored a penalty the other night, which she didn't look confident going up. I thought she looked absolutely shattered at that point. And I was surprised to see she started again in this game, because she just looked leggy.
Well, I think one of the things, though, is that, again, at this point, you sort of say, well, who do you start in the final? Yeah. For me, I would be starting Russo again. I think she's done really well. I think she's not got the goals, but she has got the assists, and so she brings a lot of other players into the game. But yeah, that's my only criticism. I really don't want to criticise an England manager who's got us to another final.
Three finals in a row.
Exactly. But I just...
It's just what we do, isn't it?
For my blood pressure, I would have loved it if we could have seen the subs come on 10 or 15 minutes earlier.
I think so. And I wonder if we're going to see Chloe Kelly start. I think Adjumang is clearly very good off the bench. She's powerful. She runs a lot. But I think Chloe Kelly just has confidence. Yeah. I think it's quite clear that England are going into this as underdogs.
Well, can we touch on a couple of things, Joe? First of all, I want us to touch on Adjumang and how she's played when she's come on. She just exudes confidence, but not in a sort of not in a showy way. She just sort of she gets the ball, she holds it up well, she drives forward, and she makes it all seem to click in that final third, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's one of those players that she chases lost causes. Yeah, she makes things happen. She backs herself, but like you say, not in an arrogant way. She is a person with a faith as well, which obviously we love to see, and she's quite overt about that. She gave an interview afterwards about her faith and what that means to her. So we love that. But yeah, as a player, she just backs herself. She had that. She obviously scored the goal. She also had that chance that came off the crossbar, which you think, if that goes in, like, incredible effort.
And, remember as well, only 19, Joe. So, there's a lot of years left in her. And I think that the thing that's particularly exciting, I think her youth actually helps her in this situation. In that, I don't know, when you're a teenager, maybe you don't think as much. You just do. You just, you don't get caught up in your thoughts. You just react. And I think that goal, she was so calm under pressure. The ball seemed to be at her feet for an age, and then she just absolutely rifled it in. So yes, big fans of Michelle Aman.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's what Wiegman's thinking. Look, she is young, and to start someone and have that much pressure on you, especially in the final on Sunday, maybe she is thinking, I don't want to put that much pressure on a 19-year-old. Whereas if you bring them off the bench, you know how the game is, and you can kind of come into the game at your own kind of level. I would be starting the same lineups, but I would just be thinking, well, because you don't want to start with all of these exciting players, and then it's sort of it's still 0-0 at 70 minutes, and then what have you got to bring? Sure.
So I definitely think that both Agyemang and Chloe Kelly are great options to bring off from the bench. Can we talk about Chloe Kelly's penalty?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a definite pentonity, I thought. Really sort of
insane decision from the Italian defender.
Just tired, clumsy challenge, and you just think, don't give away a penalty like that. Really, really daft. Kelly has then missed the penalty, but has somehow managed to follow it up. She's hit it well enough that the keeper couldn't hold on to it, managed to follow it up, and then followed up with the most fantastically arrogant calm down celebration
after missing a penalty
you've ever seen. I mean, I thought it was really funny, and I think like the way that she's meant it as well is kind of with a big hint of irony,
we all saw what just happened.
Never in doubt.
100%. She really reminds me of Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I think she just has this ability to, pressure doesn't affect her.
Yeah.
She is confident. She's very good. I would start her, personally.
Yeah.
I think she's an incredible crosser of the ball. And I think we've kind of been lacking that invention. I think Lauren James hasn't had the best tournament. She obviously has the quality, but I think I would start Chloe Kelly just as a bit different. I think she's confident. She makes players around her play well, and I'd want to see her from the start, I think.
What do we think in terms of the difference between the England women's team and the England men's team? Because I feel like if you'd have taken me back a few years, you wouldn't have seen this from the men's team. You'd have seen us going down early, and you'd have seen the labouring, but we would have just not, we'd have lost 1-0. And actually in recent years, I'm thinking Bellingham against Slovakia.
Yeah.
We have managed to sort of pull these moments out of the bag. So maybe it's, part of the wider culture of England now that actually we are, men and women, we're a team that knows what it feels like to actually come up trumps in these real pressure moments and deliver. Yeah,
it's one of those, we've been here before.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. We know how to cope under pressure. These, like we said before, the parallels are, there's so many from last year's Euros, even the scorelines, like the 2-1 in the semi-final. It's those moments, isn't it? There's an interesting conversation wider than just England men's, England women's in terms of the women's game. I think football, when it comes down to it, is about storylines, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think of we all love a good storyline, an underdog story. I think what we're starting to see in the women's game, which is a good thing, is these storylines.
Yeah.
I think Tuesday was a great example of this. We're going to remember that moment for a very long time.
Yeah.
We're going to remember moments from the last Euros, Chloe Kelly's winning goal in the final. That's a storyline. And I think the more moments we have, the more people are going to get on board with it.
Absolutely.
And the higher profile it's going to get.
Well, that's it. I watched this semi-final with my daughter, and I was very nervous the whole way through because she hasn't experienced the sort of crushing blows that we as fans of the men's team have been used to watching when we were kids. It was just, we just knew there was going to be heartbreak every summer at one stage or another. And actually, she's been mainly watching the women's, and I found myself with 10 minutes to go against the Italians comforting her and saying, look, it's okay. If we lose, it's okay. We'll, there's always, 2 years from now. Yeah. And actually for her to see that, it was just incredible. Like, my daughter won't forget the semi-final for as long as she lives. I'm absolutely convinced of it. It was such a dramatic and amazing moment. And I think that's been the story of the Lionesses, is they just never give up. And regardless of how they're playing, they never give up. They always look like, we think we're going to get this here. We can get this here. And just bring on the final. Bring on Sunday.
It's going to be great. Clearly Spain are a very good team. They beat Germany in their semi-final 1-0. Bonmati with the goal. She's a very good player, isn't she? Yeah. And I think England are slight underdogs, but I think we thrive in that.
Well, that's it. Is all of the games up to this point, we have been the favourites, and in most of the games, pretty comfortable favourites. And actually, maybe this is what we need. Maybe it's taking that pressure off. We're not expected to win necessarily. We're just expected to put in, hopefully, a good performance. And I'm sure the Lionesses will do us proud.
Absolutely.